everybody. Welcome back to another Agatha All Along review. We're in episode 6. We're past the halfway mark now, I believe. Pretty sure. But this is going to be a quick review to start because there's a lot in this episode I want to talk about. And it's going to be very spoilerish, so I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't watched the episode yet. But I do want to give you my review because I know some people come and they actually watch my review before they go watch the episode, and I appreciate that. It makes me feel a little bit important. But yeah, I'll cut right to the chase. Best episode so far of the series. I really enjoyed this episode. It was very light on the comedy. In fact, almost no comedy, and it leaned more into the drama of it. Any horror elements in this one? Not really, kind of, maybe at the end of the episode. But yeah, I think this show works better when it's more dramatic and more leans more into the horror. So this episode definitely leaned into the drama, and we do find out more about the teen. I'm not going to say his name or anything like that, but we do find out his backstory and how he comes into meeting Agatha. So it was a nice little backstory. Generally speaking, these like middle episodes for these 10-hour movies that TV shows have become, when we do get a flashback episode, I generally get pissed off by them. I'm like, God damn it, I just want to get to the end of the story, kind of thing like that. And you're putting an extra episode of flashbacks that don't matter in my way. It generally pisses me off. But this one did a good one because we did need some backstory of the teen, because he had some sort of hex put on him where whenever he tried to say his name or anything like that, covered up his mouth. So this was a good flashback episode because it did give us pieces to the puzzle. There were a couple complaints I have with it, and it's in a I feel lazy directing choices, maybe visual set piece choices, kind of thing like that. So I'll kind of touch on those for a second before I get into spoilers. And those of you who haven't watched the episode yet, you're free to go. You don't have to watch my ravings and rantings. But two things kind of bug me in the episode. One, the teen. I almost said his name again. This is my second take because the first time I stupidly said his name. The teen kind of runs into all of the witches before he meets Agatha, with the exception of Rio. She was not seen at all in the episode, except you do, because it's a flashback episode and you see how he meets Agatha. You do hear Aubrey Plaza's voice at one point, but you do not you don't see her, but you see, let me find my notes, Lilia is a fortune teller in this episode that the teen meets, and when they met up with her later, I gotta rewatch the first episode or the second episode, whichever episode, I think it was the second episode. I don't think she acted like she ever met him before. So that was kind of weird. Let's see. Alice. He meets her in it, and then Jennifer, he watched a YouTube video on. So all three witches, other than Rio, make a cameo in this episode. And I just found it kind of funny. I was like, well, they kind of killed everybody, so they're like, we got to get our money's worth, so put them in these flashback episodes, even though it doesn't make sense, because you would think, with the exception of Jennifer, the rest would have recognized, I almost said his name again, Jesus, I got to get the spoilers soon, would have recognized the teen when they met him, because him meeting them in these episodes is kind of memorable to where I don't think they would have forgotten who he was, kind of thing. So that's a bit off. But I'll rewatch the episodes before the next review and I'll be like, oh, well, they did kind of act weird around him, but definitely Alice, she did not act weird around him at all, and I feel like she would have remembered him definitely. So that was a bit off, but Yeah, so that was kind of a gripe that they kind of shoehorned them into the episode, where I feel, well, I guess Jennifer's doesn't matter because she does like the skincare things, and the team was like, oh, her skin's flawless, something like that. So I mean that's fine for her little cameo, but the other two, I don't think makes sense. But yeah, the other gripe I had, because he's a teenager, and this is done so much in movies, it was a cool visual cue. Also foreshadowing in other films that have done it over the decades. But because this is a flashback episode, this isn't foreshadowing. This is just like, oh, we're creative. Look, other better movies have done this, and we're gonna do it too. I know I said this was the best episode, and I'm not complaining about two things, but I'm getting these complaints out of the way. Um, but yeah, the teen had posters on his wall. Goonies signifying going on an adventure. Alice in Wonderland, and you see that through a mirror when he's looking at his reflection, so through the looking glass kind of thing like that, cliched. There's a poster of Carrie, a rageful teen, and as we saw in the last episode, he got rageful and took it out on everybody. And then The Craft, which is, this would have been cool if this was episode 1 and we saw those posters, because they might not have stuck out to us as much, and then you go back and rewatch like, oh, it was there, that's really cool. But yeah, in a flashback episode, that's trite. I mean, don't do that. That's kind of lazy filmmaking. You think you're being creative, but many other filmmakers have used that technique before and done it way better. So yeah, that was a little bit lame. But those were really my only complaints in the episode. It was structured really well, paced really well. In fact, when it ended, I was like, it's over? It was one of those things I expected. I thought there'd be at least like 10 or 15 more minutes, just because it just kind of flew by. It just, boom, it started and it was over. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So really well paced, and it was great to watch, and I had a lot of fun watching it. I did like the backstory of the teen. We did get to meet his boyfriend that we just saw a quick cell phone image of, and I thought it was a pretty nice relationship. It wasn't in your face. It was no different than if he was dating a girl for the show. If the character was straight and dating a female, it was like that relationship didn't come off any different than like a teenage hetero romance. So I'm sure there will be people complaining, because there always are, but no, it wasn't like it was like in your face and super gay. It was very cute and nice and just like a typical teenage romance. So it was nice restraint by the filmmakers to actually make something that is more common than not common, and that was very nice to see, because I grew up in the 90s, generally speaking, when you have a gay relationship in a mainstream media thing, it's like super gay and borderline offensive the way it's comical, even if it's not supposed to be comical. So it was nice that the filmmaker of this episode used restraint, and just, again, I've preached this a lot, talking about this, like my lesbian mother-in-law is like, they're super normal. Like if you met them, you would never know that they were in a lesbian relationship. And I've had several gay friends, and again, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know, and that's the majority of the community. So it's nice to see a filmmaker actually use restraint and show that, and not be like, oh yeah, all homosexuals are flamboyant and flaming, which they're not. So super cool, super restrained. I enjoyed it. Cute relationship. But yeah, that's all I can really touch on without spoilers. So yeah, I'm going to leave you non-spoiler people with this. It's a fantastic episode. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the teen's backstory, and it was great. So yeah, so spoilers are coming up right this second. So if you don't want spoilers, go ahead, pause the video, watch the episode, come back, and you can hear what I thought of the episode. So, all right, here you go. Here's your warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get out. All right, so start off the episode, and this is going to be a summary too, for those of you still sticking around. Billy is being, I was about to say baptized. It's his bar mitzvah. He is becoming a man. Lily is the fortune teller at his bar mitzvah, And she says something about his lifeline branching on two paths, and he's like, "Is that bad?" And she's like, and you can see in her face, she's like, "Yeah, it's fucking bad." But she's like, "No, it could just mean this, this, and this, and blah 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 blah." So immediately I was thinking, because he has parents at his bar mitzvah, I was like, maybe he's not Wanda's son Billy, but his name is William, so I'm like, maybe he's adopted. I don't know. They're throwing a little red herring at us, maybe. I don't know. I do have a question for my Jewish audience, though. And I've been to bar mitzvahs before, and I don't know why I've never thought to ask this before. When you read from the Torah at your bar mitzvah, you use the pointer with the finger, the hand with the finger. What does that signify? I don't know why I've never thought to ask that of any of my Jewish friends growing up, like, because I've been to all their bar mitzvahs and things like that. I never thought to ask that. So if you have the answer, I could probably Google it, but I want to reach out to the community and also farm some comments. So if you know why when you read from the Torah on your bar mitzvah, it's the little hand with the finger pointing, and you do that to read the Hebrew, that would be great to know. I'm just curious about that. Is it a decorative choice? Is it passed down from like Abraham and Moses and everything like that, or is it just maybe something from David or Joshua? I don't know. I'm just curious. But yeah, so he reads from the Torah. He goes to his party, and Lily is his fortune teller, and like I said, the branching paths and things like that. He leaves his jacket when he rushes out of there, because you can see he's not buying her shtick. And she writes on a little wooden piece, like that symbol that we saw his mouth do when he was talking to Agatha, and put it in his coat pocket. So she's the one who hexed him. And I hope she's not dead, so we can maybe find out why she hexed him, because I would like to know, because getting into I'll come back to that. So then it's like this takes place during the end of WandaVision, and they have to evacuate, and everyone has to go home. And when they're going home, the mom is driving, and she's caught up looking at this big red hex in the sky, and they crash the car, and William dies. And that's when Alice comes in. She's the police officer on the scene, which is why in the non-spoilers, like, why does she not remember him? Because he was a bloody mess with his head crashed through the window. I would have remembered that. I'd be like, no, you were dead. I saw you. You were dead, kind of thing like that. That would have been my first reaction, kind of thing like that. He's dead until he's not, which I kind of guessed it right there. Wanda's son Billy possesses him, inhabits him. Not quite sure, but it is kind of made clear later in the episode that William's dead, and this is now Billy's body. Like, William died, and as Billy was being, I don't know, not killed, but zapped from existence, kind of thing like that when WandaVision was over, his spirit, his soul, inhabited William's body and took it over. So there is that, and William pretends to be like he's in the hospital and everything like that, and they say he has amnesia, and then Billy just pretends to be William, kind of thing like that, which did bring up a question for me, because there is, like I said, cute little relationship between him and his boyfriend. So Billy doesn't meet his boyfriend until after the accident. So I am kind of curious if William was gay, and so's Billy. So good job there, Billy, finding that. I just thought of something that's kind of weird and awkward, because I know Billy's gay in the comic book, so they're just carrying the character trait over. But like, Billy at the end of WandaVision is like 10 years old. So this part of the story takes place 3 years there. So maybe he's 13 and he's in, like, I don't know, a 16, 17, 18-year-old's body. That's a little weird. and I'm not, and so he's 13. I guess I had my feelings for girls at 13. So I guess young gay teenagers at 13 probably know, or have a good idea what they're attracted to, kind of thing like that. So I guess that's fine. But then his boyfriend's like, oh, that's weird. Oh, I wish I didn't open up this can of worms. I don't think they thought that one through. When they did this, they're like, oh yeah, Billy's gay in the comic, and they just didn't think about, he was a boy when his character left in WandaVision. Like, let me look up the actor's age currently for that. Cause yeah, that was, I didn't think of that at the time, but I was like, cause I was thinking, I was just kind of thinking, cause Billy was pretending to be William, and I was like, well, the character has a boyfriend, so did he have a boyfriend before the accident or didn't get to after the accident? So I was like, so it's just William is gay and Billy's playing along because he's inhabiting the body and he's pretending to be William, or so and so. So it's one of those weird things, like if the character of William was gay before the accident, or I mean, he could have just been not attracted to girls at all. Though it was his bar mitzvah, so I'm sure he had feelings either way, kind of thing like that. But yeah, that was a weird plot hole that I just came up with. All right, Julian Hillard played Billy. It just says born June 20th. That doesn't help me with an age. Really, that's all we're given for the biography? All right. His brother. I'm just going to look up his brother because I'm not going to do all this crap on my phone while I'm recording a review for this. I'm just curious because I'm just like, he was young at the end of WandaVision. And where is the cast now? God, I hate IMDb sometimes. Oh, you're just loading everything for some reason. Cool. All right, here's the cast. I mean, maybe because he's a minor, they don't list when he was born. Okay, 2009. So that would make, if Tommy and Billy are the actors are the same age, that would make him 15 now. So that was 3 years. So 15. 15's not bad, but 15 shouldn't be dating an 18-year-old, kind of thing like that. But nah, we're just, or maybe, oh no, bar mitzvah. So that might have to. What age? Bar mitzvah 13. Okay, so 3 years later, so 16. All right, we'll fudge it. We'll say okay, the age is right. The age is good, because I just thought about that. I was like, he was a little kid at the end of WandaVision, but okay, the ages kind of match up. So the character William would be 18. Billy probably 15 or 16, so I'll let it go. I shouldn't say I'll let it go, because if Billy was dating a girl, it would still be awkward because it would be a minor dating an older person, mentally a minor. I know Billy's boyfriend doesn't realize that Billy is not actually 18, kind of thing like that. But we can fudge it. I mean, whatever. We're fudging time with Spider-Man 2, the way that fits into the MCU, so it's okay. But yeah, so just kind of a question that popped in mind. Doesn't pertain anything to the plot, but I was just like, oh, that's kind of just kind of a little plot thread there. But yeah, like I said, they have a nice little hangout in the car, and Billy can read his mind because that's part of his powers, and his boyfriend wants to tell him he loves him, and then he's like, oh, I gotta kind of come clean to him about all this stuff, and he goes, I love you too. I mean, I just love you, because his boyfriend didn't say I love you yet. So that was a cute, awkward scene. So that was fun. What else in my notes? So yeah, so going down the witch's road, kind of thing like that. I was thinking, I was like, does he want to reunite with his family? Does he want to split from William? Like, kind of give William his life back, and then he gets his own body back, kind of thing like that. We do find out after he goes back and forth with Agatha in the present that he wants to find his brother. He said he can hear him, he just doesn't know where he's at, and he wants to bring him into the world. So that's cool. That'll be a fun kind of switch, because it's called Agatha All Along, but I think Billy is going to step into that protagonist role, which bring to that. So remember the break-in and everything like that when we were in Agatha's mind and she thought she was in a True Detective kind of show. So seeing the whole, and like Billy looked like this like stealth, like cat burglar and everything like that. He is not that. It was very, very humorous watching him bumble and stumble his way around, and how the scene looks so slick and very Hollywood in Agatha's mind, and then in the reality of the show, it was very slow and sad and bumbling. That was great. That was a moment of comedy in it, but that was well-timed, well-played comedy, and that's when we hear Aubrey Plaza's voice in it. So that was really, really cool. But yeah, he ended up finding Agatha through searches through the internet and stuff like that. And again, another cliched thing it did when he was searching the internet looking for Agatha, he just happens to be listening to Alice's mother's song Down the Witch's Road. And I was like, the odds of that actually happening, kind of thing like that, slim to none. So, a thing I pointed out, I saw, and I always like to do it because I like to see fellow lefties, Agatha, and probably the actress, left-handed. That's cool. But if she's not left-handed, that's a cool kind of little detail, because in ancient times and Victorian times, left-handed people were considered evil, because for whatever reason, that might be why we're only 10% of the population. We probably all got burned as witches at the stake. Lefties were considered evil. So if Catherine Hahn is not left-handed, nice little detail by the filmmakers to make her left-handed, being that she's a witch and everything like that, and lefties are being evil. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, we find out at the episode that only Agatha and Billy are left. The other witches died in that tar pit. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I'm still holding off that Rio is death. So I'm staying with Rio is death, and she ain't dead. Because like I said, in I think it was the 70s episode, her outfit was very reminiscent of Sexy Death from the comic book. So I'm going with Aubrey Plaza is death. And if Aubrey Plaza was death and I was Thanos, I'd kill off half the universe just to be with her too. I'm just saying. So that brings us to the end of the episode. They are again unwillingly working together. This time Agatha wants to work with Billy, and Billy's like, I don't need you, kind of thing like that. So a nice little juxtaposition from the first two episodes. No Salem 7 in this episode, though. I was hoping to see them once we got back on the road. But yeah, very cool episode. Like I said, in my opinion, the best so far. But yeah, so if you've watched the episode all the way through, tell me what you thought of. Oh, one other thing I wanted to put in there. I really enjoyed how cool Williams, not Billy's, Williams' parents are accepting of him being gay and really liking his boyfriend, because at one point in the episode, Billy's going up to his bedroom and is like, oh, and they said his name, and I'm terrible with characters' names. They said his boyfriend's name. He's like, he's coming over for dinner. I made that roast he likes or whatever. And he's like, oh, no, something. I don't remember all the lines. But I was like, oh, that's nice. The parents aren't freaked out by it. They're very accepting and treating it as normal as they should. So I thought that was a little cool thing. So yeah, so get back to the closing. Sorry, it was in my notes and I missed it. Oh, one more thing in my notes. Damn, I'm bad at these reviews. They brought back Ralph Boner, Fox's Quicksilver. I swear to God, if we don't get a payoff at the end of this, that Ralph Boner is actually Pietro from the Fox universe, just brainwashed by Agatha, I'm going to be pissed. I really like that version of Quicksilver way better than the MCU Quicksilver. Since we're doing all this multiverse crap in Deadpool, Wolverine and Deadpool are in their own universe, but they're coming over the 616. Just bring over Quicksilver to 616. And I can't remember the actor's name. Have him play it. That was a fun. In fact, I might watch X-Men: Days of Future Past. That was a fun Quicksilver. I really like the things he did, because I've always hated Quicksilver. He's a prick, and I don't like him. I've never liked him in the comic books, and I like that version. So let's knock off the Ralph Boner crap and bring back Quicksilver. Though, Boner did have some funny jokes when he met up with Billy to let him know about Agatha. So that was good too. So yeah, let me quick. Yep, covered everything in the notes. So yeah, so if you watched the episode, let me know what you thought of it. Do you agree with me that's the best episode so far, or am I just really bad at reviews and my opinion means squat? So yeah, just let me know what you think. Comment below, like, share, subscribe, do all the fun stuff to help this channel grow. We're at 163 now. We're on the road to 500 subs. Because once we get to 500 subs, I can monetize the channel. It won't make that much, but I can monetize it, and we can, use the ad revenue, put it into the channel, get some cooler cameras, get some better microphones, do some more IRL stuff, because that video is actually doing pretty decent. So I'm going to definitely do some more IRL shopping stuff on my own, with Bowie, with my teenager Sean, with the wife, and when friends come over to do some game or toy hunting. We'll do it then too. I'll try to live stream it. Let's see how that goes. I won't use Restream. I'll probably just live stream it to YouTube. But yeah, we'll experiment. We'll do some fun things, and the more money the channel gets, the more money I can put back into it. So make sure you do all that stuff. But also, I want you all to make sure you have a great rest of your day and take care of you and yours. And I'll see you here next time. Bye.